how the borrower will experience our system, our process. So let me walk you through that. Let's use this account to test it out. Okay. So here's the screen. We sign in. Keep remembering my login, the system. Before I start, anyone have any question? So this is what I do. We will fill out an application together as a borrower. After that, you log in, you get notified, you log in, you will review the application, you review the documents. Then you will decide if it's ready to submit to lender or not. If not, what are the missing information or documents? You can follow up with the borrower until you have complete documents, complete 1003. Then you will convert it to a loan. So if you don't want to expose your pricing engine, you can choose a different template. For example, I go to, this is John Smith, go to my page. And he decided that quotable lender is these three lenders, right? And he can show his page into the signature. So you can promote your own page. You check the box here. You can display your personal review on your page. You can check if you have Google review, you can check on it and type in the location to promote your own page. Okay. You can also promote your own video by including the YouTube link here. You should do this. Try to have one video to communicate to your borrower. Here's the web page design. He picked this design. So this design has a code here, and some design doesn't have a pricing engine. This design is just the landing page. So let's not worry about that for now. And as a consumer, the borrower go here, let's change it. So we choose a different design here and submit it. So now I go back to the main page, the loanview1.com. You see the design is different now with the pricing engine here. And let's say the borrower, there are two ways for borrower to fill out the application. The first way is click on the loan application on top. And the second way is to check the rate first. The borrower check the rate, and after review the result, he or she decide to get a pre-approval letter. So he or she will click on the button pre-approve me. So there are two types of purchase. Remember, the code that the borrower run is for purchase. So if the borrower select refinance, then we have a different question for the borrower for refinance. And all of this information here will be populated automatically for the borrower to save them time. So you see that the borrower wants to borrow $400,000 to buy a $500,000 house. He or she wants to purchase in this zip code. Credit score is this. It's a single family, owner occupied, and conventional lot. And the borrower wants to apply at 6%. So if the borrower do that, the system will remember everything and populate the application for the consumer. They don't have to fill it out again. So that's how good we are. Our system can remember everything for them. And let's say the borrower just want a pre-approval letter. They are not in contract yet. So pre-approval letter, the borrower will fill out an application, enter a fake email address. And then the borrower can fill out the username password. So this will create an account for the borrower. The borrower will have an account to interact with you. They can go back and complete the application. They can go back and upload documents. They can interact with you. So we have some instruction for them here. Take about 5 minutes or less. So the borrower will click next. And as soon as they click next, many things happen. First, the account will be created. We will take the user to their account. You see it here. And the borrower will be presented by an application, will be presented by the application, and the application have 7 pages. It is we call that a short application, a simple application. It's a lot simpler than the full application. We see the 1003. We do not want to overwhelm the consumer, your borrower. So we only ask basic questions. Whatever we need, we ask. We try to avoid asking them too many questions. So, and feel free to stop me and ask questions if you have any question. So the borrower fill out the application. We automatically fill out most of the information on this page for them automatically. So we have the zip code already in Los Angeles, single family, 1 unit, owner occupied. So the borrower doesn't have to fill out any of this. 20% down, loan amount, 30-year fixed. So the first question is, how soon do you need the pre-approval letter? It's important. Sometimes they want it same day. Sometimes they want tomorrow, 3 days. We ask for this so that if it's same day, you better jump on and them right away and call them. They really need it. If you don't call them right away, they will go with someone else for sure. Because they need it urgently to submit an offer. So we ask this same day. And we ask, how did you hear about us? So this is critical because if they say internet or newspaper or whatever, then you know where they are come from. And this is important. You need to know whatever marketing you do, which one is working and which one is not working, right? So we need this information from radio, referral. So most of the time, it's the referral or real estate agent or return client. These are the most popular, or social media. So depend on these, you know, what did you do right and what did you do wrong to have the client. So if the borrower say referral from friends and family, we ask them for the referral email or phone number. It's optional. So if the borrower enter, we try to capture as much as possible, but do not require them to enter. And most of the time, the borrower enter referral email and phone number, you know, and by capturing this, it is critical to say thank you to your referrer. So we have a system, but you're supposed to call the referrer and say thank you. This is critical. If you want to grow your business, you need to say thank you to whoever refer you the client and ask them, you know, and show appreciation. And we ask for the name, okay? And we also ask for the preferred language, whatever language that they want to speak. Default is English, okay? And we also ask for the preferred method of communication. So some borrower too busy, they don't want to check email, they want you to text them only or call them only. They don't want text or email. So depend on these, you need to take action appropriately. Okay. You need to deal with them based on their preference. And then we go next. So they enter the phone number, we want the name. So the next page is the borrower information. We want to know everything about the borrower. Most of these default fill out for us. We are, you know, the borrower married U.S. citizen. They can change it. They can enter the social security number. You can show it. Date of birth, phone number, email address. If they have any bankruptcy or foreclosure, and capture screenshots so I can change it, improve it. We need to the actual history for 2 years. So let's say the borrower skip it. The system will tell them the borrower have to complete the current address. Where do they live right now? So we will enter anywhere, okay? And right now they are renting. Let's say they enter only a year and 5 months. Then the system will detect that, oh, it's less than 2 years. We need more additional previous addresses because we need 2 years. Then they have to enter a new address and they stay here 10 months. So now it's more than 2 year total. So the borrower can move forward. And the borrower can, we are improving so that they can add or borrow easier. The next tab is the employment. But let me tell Mozo to improve this because many times they want to add a co-borrower, but they don't know how to add. They didn't see this tab right here. So we will improve that. Now let's move to the employment section. The borrower can, so we ask 2 years of employment history. So the borrower will choose employee. We ask if they employed by a family member. If their income is earned, let me improve this. We ask too much. Then the borrower can enter the company information, how long they've been working here, their profession and the start date of this company and their income update. So it's not 2 years yet. So if we try to move forward, wait. 2 years, this is not 2 years. Okay, we didn't stop them. Let's say we can move on. So this is the IO section, our currently owned property. We want them to show us all property that they own, assume that they don't own anything. So we also ask them the assets, account balance, let's say 30,000. So the system detect that they have 30,000, which is less than the down payment of 100,000. So we ask them to give it more money, not enough money for the down payment. So the borrower has to change or add more bank account so that they can move forward. The next step is liability. Liability. We ask them if they give us authorization to pull the credit. So they have to click yes, I authorize, or I refuse in order to move forward. So this is critical. Without their authorization, you should not and never pull the credit report. You will be getting in big trouble. Pulling someone's credit report is serious. Without their explicit authorization, you are not supposed to pull the credit. It will hurt their credit score and they might file a complaint. So the system will capture every action. We even warn them. Credit bureau will sell your information. A lot of lenders and brokers might call you soon to solicit business. You can stop this by filling out this form to opt out. So they can fill out this to opt out. The borrower can opt out themselves. We also ask them this: do we have your permission to add your number to the National Do Not Call registry? So the system will help us, help you, help your client input the borrower phone number in the National Do Not Call registry. This way, there's hundreds of other loan officers will not call your clients. This, we got the most complaint from the borrower. So make sure they click yes. Otherwise, they will have a lot of people calling them. So as soon as they click yes, we have a staff member will put their information into the National Do Not Call. We'll put the information here so that no borrower will call them. And this is a big improvement, help us so much. In some case, other lenders, other loan officers will call your borrower and steal your clients. So you do not anyone to call your clients. Plus, your client, you don't want your client to come back to you and complain and say, hey, John, what happened? As soon as I apply with you, so many people call me to ask me to apply. What happened? In many years, nobody called me. And as soon as I apply with you, people are calling me. So did you sell my information? Did you leak out my information? I don't trust you anymore. You never want that to ever to happen. You don't want your client to complain, right? So this is what we come up with. Put their number in the do not call registry, and that will stop all the call. So make sure you do this. It will help a lot. Okay. And then the borrower can click on next. Make sure that if the borrower don't click on this, I authorize, you should not pull the credit report. And then I will go next. But the borrower there's another option to let the borrower to pull their own credit report and pay for it themselves. But we kind of debating whether we should do that. There's a pro and con. If the borrower pull it saves us time and money. But then some borrower doesn't want to pay. So we're still debating. Right now, Loan Factory turn it off so the borrower cannot pull. But I want to hear from everyone. If you want the borrower to pull the credit themselves, we can make it happen. Okay. So we can move on.
I have a question for you. So can you be set up with more than one credit company?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Because it's just that, and so if we were to switch over to Factual, right, for Rocket, do they allow us as loan officers to do the monthly invoicing, or is it required to have it paid per transaction? That would be where I would tell you is like where I think I'd be more interested in doing the consumer pulling the credit as long as it's monthly billing versus individual transaction.
I think right now every loan officer has a credit account. You pay for it yourself. And I believe you can set it up wherever you want.
Okay.
You can pay when you pull the credit, or you can get an invoice. So the credit company allow you to choose wherever you want. For Loan Factory, for me myself, I get an invoice, the big invoice at the end of the month, and I pay it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. I like it.
Anyone have more questions so far with the process? You can see that we take care of a lot of issue, right? We take care of the issue so that you won't run into the problem. Imagine you use Calixpoint or some other software out there. There's no such thing like this. We customize it so that we can help you. And we cannot wait until we have the new software, Moso Plus. That's going to be so much better. The interface, the question, everything is so much better, easier for everyone. Hi, Scott.
I just wanted to echo that anytime I've had an issue, I reach out to Harry or whoever, and they're really good at listening to what the issue is, making sure they understand it, and then it gets tackled pretty quickly. So I just wanted to echo that I've been pretty happy with how nimble and fast things get done. Whereas my previous experience at other larger companies like Cross Country Mortgage, forget about it. You can make a complaint and you're lucky if it gets even thought about. So
thank you, Scott. Thank you. So, and all of us, we even have a LOA to help you. So go ahead and ping your LOA to get help. They will be very helpful. So the software we build right now we built it for about 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It's a little bit older technology, but we are building a new software right now. So imagine that new software come out. It's going to be so cool. We even talk about having an app. Every client, every borrower, when they apply, we force them to download the app. And then all future communication will be done through the app. We will avoid phone call, email, or text. We will avoid all of that. Everything can be on an app. Borrower fill an application, they know the status, they know what's going on, they can upload, they can do everything on the app. When the loan is approved, we ping them, hey, your loan is approved. They see it right away. Hey, we need this document. We give them the list, 5 items. We need these documents. They can tap on it, take picture, we upload it automatically to the folder. Done. Everything's going to be so easy, so fast, so quick. And it's coming. We're going to have the best technology out there. So, and for loan officer, you have loan app too. You can go in and see how many loans you have, tap on it, you see the status, you see what are we waiting for. You can have all of that. We are determined to have that kind of app. So cool. It will improve our process so much more. Hey, Scott.
You might have already thought of this and might already be implementing it, but when they take a picture, I know that there are apps like Cam Scanner. They automatically basically take a picture and make it look like it's a scanned document. I wonder if
Yes,
that's something that could be implemented where when they
yes,
do it through the app, it automatically just does that.
yes. We will automate almost everything. They have the list of documents that they need to submit. They don't need to launch any other application. It's the same application. They see, let's say, file write-up, right? They tap on it. Then we will ask them, you want to upload or you want to take picture? As soon as they take picture, it's uploaded in PDF format to the right folder. Everything ready, done. We make everything so easy for the borrower. We're going to impress everyone. Technology is not an issue for us. We can get things done. The technology that we are using right now is pretty old. It doesn't support a lot of things. And that's why we can't even build an app. We can build app now, but it consumes so much resources. And we think that we can delay that. It's not urgent. So as soon as we launch Moso Plus, you can see that we have an app for everyone. We will impress the consumer. Nobody gonna have this kind of technology. So now we continue with the application. And after we finish the liability, we go to the demographic. And most people skip it or just select, oh, I'm white, I'm male, and done. And next. Now the application is really smart. They're detecting what needs to be asked automatically. So it's asking for the borrower most recent 1 month pay stub, the latest tax return, the latest 2 month bank statement, and unexpired driver license. So it's asking for this automatically. You don't have to communicate to ask for it. If there are two borrowers, there's more document listed. And the borrower can just click on upload. They can upload anything. Okay. They uploaded it, right? And it changed the file name automatically to pay stub. Let's say if you upload another file, turn to federal tax return. So we change the name automatically for them to help you out, okay? And then the borrower can write a message to your loan advisor, to you, right? And then submit it. So the application is relatively easy. It's not that difficult. As you can see, most of the questions we ask them is pretty simple, right? They don't have to get stuck because the questions are simple. Allow them to finish it quickly. After they finish, we show them that, let me improve this. I will display your information here. I will improve this page so that when they finish, your information will show up here. Your number show up here, your email, all that. And then they can review the application or they can enter referral agent information. I haven't looked at this for a while. So this is not good. Okay, I'll fix that. John Smith, right? I go to prospect. You see the new application is created here, right? It's assigned to you. John Smith. John Smith doesn't have LOA, but for you, you should see who's the LOA for you. Okay. Here's the new application, 400,000 pre-approval, same day. It's the new application, brand new. Earlier, we have an incompleted application. So there's 4 to do. It needs attention. It reminds you that the borrower uploaded something, but you did not do anything. So that's why we see need attention. You click on it, you see 4 to do, borrower upload 2. You can click on it to see what document the borrower sent you. Okay. And if you see, oh, this is your pay stub, everything look good, then you can get cleared. Okay. Now there's 3 to do left. And then you click on the tax return here, the right document, everything look good, you can clear it. Right? There are 2 conditions left. And it shows that when it was generated. So if you work on a loan and your processor or LOA didn't clear to do, then you should ask them why. To do is so important. That's what we call it to do, right? You need to take care of it. If a to do stay there for a few days or a week, something wrong. You need to clear it. You or the processor have to take care of it. The system will track and whatever needs to be done as a to do, and we track it. We have 2 borrower to do. We have loan officer to do and closing agent to do. So borrower to do, the borrower can see it. They cannot see loan officer to do. And within loan officer, if you convert it to a a loan, you can see that the processor to do here too. What processor need to take care, what you need to take care. So we track everyone who are the owner of the loan, they have to do and they have to take care of that to do. Okay, for you, you don't need to do anything. The borrower have two to do. They have to take care. So let's say you clear two to do and then two left, right? You need your borrower to send. Then you go here. If you send them any document, you can drag it here. Then you can send a message. You send them a message and you say review and send email. So here's the email. It's going to send to the borrower. This is the title of the email. This is the email. So we list our two documents that we need from them. Everything automatically generated. And we give them a link to log into their account to upload documents. This is your picture, your signature will show up. And we are fixing so that your website will show up here. Your email, your phone number, your information will show up here. So you click send, it will send to the borrower, right? And now go back to your prospect to-do list here, the three tab, right? Borrower, loan officer, and closing agent. Now you go back to the prospect folder. It's not ready because it's missing document. However, the starter is not incomplete. The reason it's 99% complete. The reason we put it at 99 instead of 100% is because you, the loan officers, has not reviewed the application, right? So far, we see that the borrower fill out a completed application, but you, the main person, you have not reviewed the borrower application. So that's why we put it 99% and the starter is not complete. We want you to click on the application and review it. You need to review this application. And you see that a lot of information are missing right now. We want you to review. It's your job to review it. So let's go back here. You can look at the history of this transaction. You can go to audit log here. Everything gonna show up in the audit log. The borrower fill out application at 11:27 a.m. today. He or fill out all of this information. And he or she fill out this application, right? He apply at this website. So you can track everything. Where is it come from? We detect that it's not a low income. We detect that everything here, the starter is incompleted. You send out a condition to the borrower. So we track all the history. At the same time, we also track all the conversation. All email, we track it here. All text message, we track it here. And you can see it right here. The borrower fill out an application. We text it to your phone number. So you should test out your website. If you have a borrower fill out an application on your website, you should receive a text. Say, hey, John, there's a new borrower apply. Here's the message. We text this number. This is the template, and here's the email. New pre-approval application is created. The borrower name is this. And their email is this. Their phone number is this. So we text it to you automatically. So everything can happen instantly. So that you don't have to wonder, hey, if the borrower applied yet. He said that he applied, but I don't know if he applied yet. You don't have to wonder that. Because if you have not received the text message, you know that the borrower has not applied, right? So we want everything to be real time. The borrower fill out application, you get notified right away as soon as they fill out the application. The borrower fill out the application, they can upload documents right away. They know exactly what we ask. They don't have to wait for you. You don't have to wait for them. They can do everything, right? Any questions so far? Hi, Ann.
Hi, I'm Thuận. So if they want to add a borrower and then they ask him, okay, how do I add a borrower? So which view do I show them? I know that
Yeah,
you
let me,
mentioned that there's a add borrower in there, but is there a link that I can send them so that the borrower can create an account and attach them to the application?
right now there's no link. They go to the borrow info tab, they log in, they
So
go
they
to the
went back
borrow
to
in.
their applications and then they log
Exactly.
in. Okay, and
Yes.
go to borrower and then look for the add co-borrower tab.
Yes, that is, we will improve that. We will have, as soon as they finish the borrow info tab, we ask them, you want to add more borrow? So we will ask them right there so that it won't happen again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go back here. So as soon as the borrower from your borrower fill out an application, you get notified so that you can jump on it right away and impress them. Hey, I saw you just finished the application. And I say, wow, you good. Right away, as soon as they finish the application, you call them, right? You got a text message. And then all of these email too. We email the borrower to welcome them. Thank you for your interest. And, we send them a welcome email. We also send John Smith an email. Hey, there's a new application created. So we text you and email you, the system. We'll text you and email you, let you know what happened. We'll also send you an email, say, hey, borrower, upload these 2 documents. See that? You get notified. We'll email the borrower this. We need 2 more documents from you. You manually send it down. We ask for 2 more documents. See, you can track all communication. A text message sent to a person replies, I think the team applying for this. Yeah. So basically, you can review all of the communication, what's going on. So that in the future, if the client say, hey, well, how come I email you, I text you, you didn't answer? We have all the record. The borrower can now say, hey, how come you don't send me any email? Why you didn't ask me for this and that? We have all the record that we take care of everything. So this is the reason why the borrower cannot complain to Loan Factory. So we do everything, we take care of everything on time, promptly. So let's move on with the next task. As a loan officer, when you get notified about the new application, you need to go in and review it. And I cannot stress the importance of this enough. It is critical when you have a new application. This is the most important task of a loan officer. Remember, so far you have not done anything, right? As a loan officer, so far the system take care of everything for you. The borrower and the system taking care of everything for you. So far, you haven't done anything. You get a text message, tell you there's a new application. So you log in, you click on the application to review it. This is the most important task. So far, you have not done anything. If you don't do a good job on this, you are a bad loan officer because the system and the processor and the LOA take care of almost everything for you. And this is your main task. Your main task is to review the application, to understand your borrower, to find out if the borrower can qualify or not. And everything happened right here, right now, reviewing the application. And the second most important task is monitoring the rate, explain the point and cost, whatever, and help them lock the rate. So I can sum up your job is only 2 tasks. Review the application, make sure everything ready and complete and submit to the lender. And the second most important task is discussing the rate for them, checking the rate, help them lock the rate, explaining the cost. That's it. So I can tell you that if you do these 2 things and you do it well, you're going to become a successful loan officer. And if not, you're going to be a bad loan officer and you have to quit. And your job is so simple, 2 things, right? Come down to major tasks. If you can do these 2 tasks good, you are set. Everything else, we Loan Factory take care for you. So let's get down to this task. First, you need to understand your client. They are your client. If you don't understand your client, how can you help them, right? So my advice is you have to have a different mentality. You have to, I would say that I would use the word investigate. I would investigate the borrower. Imagine they borrow $500,000 from you. All your saving, all your life, you save up 500,000, and now the borrower want to borrow from you $500,000. It's gonna be a big decision for you. So you need to investigate the borrower. Make sure the borrower is authentic. They really need the money. They can qualify. Make sure who are they working for, how long they've been working there, how many borrower, how many are they married or not, how many house they have, what is their income, how old is their kid, how many house they have, where do they live right now, how long they've been living there, do they own any house, if they pay rent, how much is it, their income 100,000, do they have any bonus, overtime, all of these together. I want you to investigate and remember. So for the first 1 or 2 loans, I want you to spend 15 minutes or half an hour going over and over the application until you even memorize everything about the borrower. This is a good exercise, good learning skill, because this you cannot do a shortcut. You have to investigate, you have to remember, you have to know everything about the borrower if you want to be a good loan officer. And then after you review everything about them, you call them up and talk to them just like you are their friends for 10 years because you know everything about them. Then you have the connection with them. They like it. They like you so much and they will not shop around. They will not leave you. They will not choose another loan officers because you know everything about them. You know how many kids they have, they marry or not, they're divorced or not. How old are they? How long they live in the house right now? What are their job? What are they doing? You know everything about them. And then I want you to talk like you are their friends for a long time. Impress them that I know everything about you. Now I'm ready to help you because I know everything about you. I know so well that you don't even need to explain. I know everything. How much you have, how many bank account you have, how much you have in there, what is your saving, check-in, you can have extra reserve or not. You know everything about the borrower. I want you to get to that level. So slowly review everything. It might take you a long time, half an hour for the first loan. But second loan, it's gonna be 25 minutes. The third loan, 20 minutes. And for me, my level, I can screen through this in 3 minutes. I remember everything. Right? It's become a habit. It become a skill. So I can skim through really quick and I know everything about the borrower. And that's why they like me. And they don't need to explain. So normally when your first conversation with the borrower is not sure about if you know their situation. They try to explain. They try to say this and that, but you say, don't worry, I know everything about you. Let's go to the bottom line. You want a loan, right? How long you want to close it? When do you need the pre-approval? I see that your income is this. You want to borrow this much, but because of this and this, your income is borderline. You need a little bit more. Go straight to the issue. You don't have to ask irrelevant question. And that's how people like you because you are a good loan officer. You know everything. You don't waste time talking about little things, but you can solve the problem for them. So let me go back to this application. Imagine this is the first time I look at this application. This is the general page, nothing to do with the application. So I am the loan officer. I am the officer assistant, but this should be populated automatically because you have the LOA. Yes, someone want to ask a question?
I don't think we can see. There it is. Now we can see your screen. That was my question.
Yeah. So this is the general tab. It will show, sometimes the borrower finish only 3 pages and you will see it right away. And you see the progress bar right here, 99%. So and you can jump in. So this borrower fill every page and that's why you see the link. You can jump to any page. So the LOA should show up automatically. The setup processor will show up to help you to find out what's going on, who is the underwriter. Let's say if you have a difficult loan, too complicated, or if the borrower is not qualified, or if you have some qualifying concern, you can ask the underwriter to help you with the loan. Here's the underwriter name. Whoever name here, you can ask them to help. But don't ask me. I don't have time. The other name here are underwriter, and it shows how many loans they can handle. Like Brand 90 loans. Brand have, they finish everything. So they're ready to help you. So every staff have a capacity. And if they hit the capacity, they turn it off. It won't show up here. That's how good our system is. Everything automated. We don't have to communicate. You know, sometime in the past 2 years ago, when we hit the limit, most of the staff turn up the capacity. They cannot handle anymore. So you can look for someone to help you by looking at the capacity here. You can write a loan story. This is very critical. I ask all of my staff to write it, and I do ask you to write a good loan story. Initially, you might not have a good loan story, but you can write something like,
I always try to include the big three: income, credit, and cash. Just say something about each one of those.
exactly, income, if there's any problem, credit, good, you know, you can write it. You can write whatever really critical, you can write it. So that the reason it's also, you can write some instruction for the processor. You know, you can ask them in this, everyone gonna read this. And this is really critical, not only for everyone, but also for yourself. Because 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, you might go back and review it. Or borrower might come back to you and apply. And imagine 2 years later, the borrower come back to you and apply. You look at this, you instantly know what happened the last transaction. You remember what's happened right away. You don't have to go through every single thing to dig out what happened. It's always good to write a good loan story. It's a good practice. The more you write a loan story, the better you are. And if you can write a good loan story, that means you are a good loan officer. It's very important. Don't skip it. Loan story is very important. Okay. So the priority, if the loan is urgent, the loan is so important, you can set it higher. But if it is just a pre-approval and the borrower doesn't need it right away, then you can set it low. You know, set it high or low so everyone aware, even yourself aware, this is an important loan. You need to pay attention. And this one, the borrower says same day, the referral here. So you say, oh, this borrower applied because the friend and family refer, this is the name. Then pick up the phone and call the referral right away. I said, I didn't know you. Just say thank you, appreciate that, and say that in the future, they can refer more to you. What you can do, you know, if they have any question for you, how do they know about you, right? How Michael know about you so that he refers someone to you. You have to do this. This is important. Their language, they tell you this, all of this. Basically, you scroll down and try to learn, hey, this borrower want to speak Spanish. Let's say the borrower say they want to speak Spanish and it's on the phone only. Then you need to meet their demand. Or if they say, you text me, then you don't call or email. Okay. Here I also this is additional so that we can connect to them on social media, but it's optional. Now you go to the next page is the loan information. Here's the borrower. They are first-time buyers. See, remember that first-time buyer, they never own any house. See, the last 3 years. Just explain right here to you. So the borrower, if you understand the borrower, hey, this borrower now haven't owned a house for 2 years. So he or she is not an experienced borrower. He or she might not know about the loan process, right? You imply it right away. So that when you talk to them, you make sure you explain the process so that they appreciate you. But if the borrower is an experienced investor, have bought 3 or 4 houses in the past, then you know that the borrower is experienced, they know the process, they shop around already. So your conversation will be different. This will determine your skill, your ability to be a good loan officer or not, right? This borrower is a first-time buyer, buying a house, 500,000. If you see they buy a $200,000, It's different than they buy a $2 million house. So that will tell the story about the borrower. How much they have for the down payment. That's also tell you the story. It's a conventional loan. We can check if they qualify for borrower smart or not. They will say their income is this. They are not qualified. Okay. Because income must be less than the AMI, and here the income is higher, so they're not qualified. And the borrower smart is $12,250 from Freddie Mac. You can apply and get it for your borrower. The rate here, you can put it at 6.25 for now. It's not relevant for now, but be careful. It happened many times in the past. If you put the rate too high, then this rate will show up on the pre-approval letter. And the borrower think that you're going to charge them this rate, and they will leave you. So try to put a realistic rate or low rate so the borrower feel comfortable. This is a pre-approval letter. So everything filled out already. You learn that they want to buy a house in LA, 1 unit, single family, detached, owner occupied. We can skip the title. If they have one borrower, we don't have to worry. The agent. Sometimes they fill out who is their agent. This is very critical. If the borrower doesn't have a realtor yet, then you can call your realtor partner. Say, hey, I have a borrower want to buy a house. I can refer to you. So you can select yes, and you can select, we are improving this. So you can select your realtor right here. We are improving this so that you can select your referral realtor, and that will allow you to track all the referrals back and forth between you and all your realtors, partners. So we need to indicate that who will refer to whom in here. You can invite here, but don't worry about this for now. You keep track of all the referrals, and then you can go to next. You keep moving along. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of time left. So I'm going to go quickly. I'm going to try to go quickly because I don't have time. Now the system detected the borrower filled out less than 2 years of experience. So you need to go in and ask them to give you the previous employment. Start date and end date. The zip code, their position. So the address too. The employer address. Now you complete the application basically. And you can see the detail is 69%. The borrower doesn't qualify. You can move on, and pull the credit report. Here is right now, we haven't allowed them. We do not want to confuse you. So that's we do not allow you to select more than one vendor. But Mozo can allow that if needed. So let's say you want to pull the credit report. And this is really cool. The software detect that this is a pre-approval letter. And that means we don't need to spend so much money because the ratio is about 70-80% of the borrower will never enter the contract. They might leave you and go with someone else. And right now it costs about $60 to help pull credit report, the tri-MERS. We say tri-MERS credit report, that means 3 bureau, 1, 2, 3. You select Harpoor, you can select what vendor and what is your credential, username, password to pull. All of the loan officer should have a username, password to pull a credit report. Okay, you should have it, everyone. Also, you can do a soft pull, $2. And you can select a vendor and pull it. It costs you $2. I should not pull it anyway. But anyway, it costs you $2 only. The problem with this is you save money, yes, But there's a problem that you cannot run AUS. AUS stands for Automated Underwriting System, whatever, AUS. So it's a Fannie and Freddie. It will let you know if Fannie Mae will buy the loan or not, and what are the conditions. Freddie Mac, same thing. So we have one-click AUS. You click on it, we run both. It come up with a finding if the loan has any condition. And you can read the finding to find out what the lender will ask for. Timeout. So there's some problem. And that's
Hey,
good.
John,
The system-
can we run AUS with soft pull?
No, you cannot run AUS with software.
Okay.
Okay. So after you finish the application, then you review the DTI. DTI is 60, almost 70% not qualified. So the income is 10,000, the rate 6%, they have to pay this much on mortgage, property tax, and insurance. So there's another problem with the monthly rent. And I thought that I asked them to remove this. The system should remove this rent because we are buying a new house. We're not going to live in the same house anymore. We're not going to rent anymore. So the loan should qualify. And then let me bypass this. Now you can see DTI drop and the borrower can qualify 39.8%, right? So you can click here to issue pre-approval letter and say, you can write anything. Something like that, and you can save an email, right? You can send it to the borrower. You can send it to your assistant, to anyone. Or you can type in ABC Realtor at gmail.com. You can send email with the pre-approval letter to all of them. And you click send, it will send out. So that is the process. You can preview the letter again. Okay. So any questions so far with the process? That's another, let me finish it up quickly. Sometimes your realtor or your client will call you and say, hey, John, I want a pre-approval in half an hour. Can you give it to me? And then you say, hey, can you fill out the application so that I can review and issue you the pre-approval letter? But then the borrower say, hey, I don't have no time. I need to submit an offer in 30 minutes. Then it's tough, right? The borrower, you want to help them. The realtor, you know the realtor well. The realtor say, don't worry, I know the borrower well qualified. But right now they are too busy. Can you give me the pre-approval letter? So normally you can say no. You can push them to fill out the application. But if it is from your favorite realtors who send you a lot of business and ask you to give him a pre-approval letter in 30 minutes or in 10 minutes, then you must give them the pre-approval. And you can tell them that, hey, I can give it to you, but then make sure your borrower will fill out the application tomorrow so that I can double check. So we have this feature called a pre-qualified letter here. It's only one page. You enter the information quickly, and then at the end, you can issue the pre-approval letter. So we don't want to call it pre-approval. So it's a pre-qualification letter. And most of the time, it's good enough. And we want it here. It's not a pre-approval letter. It's a pre-qualified letter. The borrower will receive an invitation to fill out the application and upload document. So that way, they won't blame us. They won't go back and say, hey, John, you told me we can qualify, but now how come we're not qualified? We can say, oh, we send you an email to ask you to fill out application and upload documents, but you didn't do it. So we cover our web base so that the borrower cannot complain. And you should follow up with the borrower and the realtor to make sure they fill out the application. So this is a quick pre-qualification letter. And after you the loan is ready, you can convert it to a loan. This is not ready, so it won't allow you to convert. But here it's allow you to convert to a loan. Let's say it's not complete 100%. So you need to go back and complete it. In order to complete the application, you see 99%. In order to complete the application, you have to go to page by page and press complete and say submit. Otherwise, that means you have not reviewed everything. And we don't want you to convert to a loan if you have not complete application. Now you see it's 100%. You can go in and convert to loan. So what happened is we do not want lazy LO that not even review the application and send the loan and ask the processor to take care of the loan for them. So that's why we want to do a little check to make sure you have to complete the application. And then you have to convert it to a loan, right? All you need to do is finish this page. What is the subject property? This is a purchase, right? So we need a subject property. We don't have it yet. The system will ask for missing information. Borrow information is right here. You decide what channel to select. Oh, this is important. MOSO is changing so that every loan you submitted, you can select the channel, wholesale or correspondent. And then you can also select how much money you want to make. So it's coming at the end of this week. You can select how much money you want to make on the loan. Every loan officer will set their target commission, how much you want to make per loan. And you can, let's say every quarter, you can change it. But once you set it, you cannot change from loan to loan. For example, you can say, I want to make $250 per loan. It's going to be a default value. I'm thinking about you have you will set two value. Your maximum COM you will earn per loan. I try to keep it simple for everyone. So let's say you want to make, I try to give everyone flexibility. But then you want to make 150 for every loan. This may be too low for some loan, right? Let's say you have small loan in the Midwest. You want to make more. But then sometime in California, if you charge 150 basis point, that might be too much. So we want to give you flexibility. If we force you to select one COM, that is not flexibility, right? So the goal is for you to set it, let's say 2 or 250, and then you can lower it from loan to loan, right? That is the goal. Done. We all understand that. However, you might have your own website, your own pricing engine. You want your borrower to price a loan. And you might want to specify what is the COM that you want to earn on your web page, on your website, on your pricing engine. So if you set it high compensation, the borrower will see high price, high rate, right? So we want to give you more flexibility. If you turn on that pricing engine, then it's fine. There's nobody can ask questions. But we want to give you the flexibility. You can set on your pricing engine how much you want to make. But then when you submit the loan, you also have flexibility. But then you cannot go above what you want. That's why we want you to set the maximum COM that you want to earn per loan. And you cannot go above. Okay. Anyone have any questions so far? Margaret?
Yeah, it's a question about like the monthly income. Is like in the previous section, you say that when you talk about the DTI, you say you want to ask the IT department to remove the monthly payment from the debt, the current house monthly payment from the debt to reduce the DTI.
We will improve it. So borrower have a home, they rent in a home, right? Now they buy a new home as a primary resident. Of course, they're not going to leave. They're not going to rent out anymore. They're not going to live in a rental place anymore. There's no more rental expense.
Well, I think
So
just it have one condition. Like I think like probably we need to find out whether this borrower really want to sell his current house and move to a second one, because like in many conditions, like the buyer, they want to keep his current home and use it for rent property. So I want to see if the system have that flexibility.
You are talking about a different scenario. The scenario I'm talking about is the borrower doesn't have any house.
Okay.
They're renting right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
now they buy a new house. There's no more rental expense. You are talking about the borrower have a house already and they buy a new house. Then the system will be smart. Don't worry about it. The system will help you.
Okay. All right. Got
Yeah.
it. Thank
Don't
you.
worry. Yeah. Thank you. Hello, Xiaoling.
Hi, can you hear me today?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great, great. I still have the question about the comp. You said we are able to set up maximum amount like 225 in the future.
I'm debating about this. Everyone for sure will be able to select your compensation level.
Mhm.
You can go as high as you want. But then it's complicated because we have wholesale and correspondent channel. So if you want high compensation, I recommend you go with correspondent channel
Right.
because wholesale, there's a lot of tricky. For wholesale, you said it's 275, for example. And then every loan you switch the borrower pay, you charge sometimes 200, sometimes 150, sometimes 100. Then it creates some little problem with the consumer, the borrower. They see that you charge them money a lot. They don't like it. It's gonna show up on the loan estimate how much you charge them, and they say borrower will pay you, even though they will get a credit from the lender. They still don't like the lender credit. And
Mhm.
in refinance situation, it would be a big problem because most of the refinance, the borrower want to pay do no point no cost. And sometimes they say, if it's no point, no cost refinance, I should not bring in any money. So that would be a problem because with borrow pay, they have to bring in the money to pay you, even though it's offset in each other. But the way it is, the term says borrow pay, they have to pay you. They cannot use lender credit to pay you. So there's issue here and there. And based on my
Yes.
experience, most experienced loan officer prefer to send loan to correspondent channel. They won't see how much you make. They won't see borrow pay. They don't see any of these. But then with
Right.
corresponding channel, the cost to the company is higher.
Mhm.
So your pricing will be slightly worse. But then it's not much worse. And most loan officer aware of this and still want to submit loan to correspondent channel.
Okay. I have another question. If I want to go down 100, like
Yes.
let's say apart from a permanent funding, because there are kind of some loan cases is really hard to deal with them.
Yes.
But I want
Yes.
just rock it. But I only charge my borrower like let's say 50% or
Yes.
75. I just want to
Yes.
beat other. I mean, in my Chinese
Yes.
market, they are very competitive.
Yes.
So how do I do that?
Just set your comp at 100 basis point. That's it. And so every loan coming in, it default to 100 basis point. Unless you have to compete and you want to get lower than 100, then when you submit a loan, you can select borrow pay, select wholesale, select borrow pay compensation, and then enter the value. Oh, I want to charge only 70 basis point. I only want to charge 50 basis point. And the staff will follow that and submit the loan according to your request.
Okay, you are talking about wholesale.
Yes.
Okay.
Normally, if you want to charge less and low comp like you can do wholesale. But if you normally corresponding is for someone to charge high compensation, 200 basis point, 250 basis point, they go correspondent because you make a lot of money. You don't want borrower to know. If you make so little, let the borrower know. I'm doing it for free. Let them know that so they appreciate you.
Okay, but on my website, press engine, I cannot set the.
Not yet. Hopefully by the end of this week, you will be able to.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Please be patient with us because there's so many changes coming and we are so new. Loan Factory, we are new in this. We're making a lot of changes and you can see all the changes soon. Hey, Anthony.
On, I guess, the pricing engine, can I have a different, like I can have a max comp for, like, say, a broker deal, but keep the website pricing at a comp which is more for your, conventional borrowers that are basically, you don't want to make that much money on. So I can set two different comps basically, because
Yeah, that is something I have to decide. With most company, when you sign up with, you can set whatever com level you want, and you can lower it from loan to loan. So that is what happened to all company. But here to accommodate your request, we have to have two different com. One is the maximum, the com that you want to earn, just like every other company. But then you also want to set one com on your website, on your pricing engine, lower than the other one, you know. So I'm not sure. I guess it's okay. We will allow you to set a lower com for your website, for your pricing engine, so that you can do advertisement and you bring in a lot of traffic online to your pricing engine, to your website, and they see better pricing. They don't see the higher pricing. But I need to talk to the attorney on this. If there's anything wrong with it.
Let me,
Yeah, because like on FHA deals are a lot more like if they're buying a 2, 3, 4 family house, FHA is a lot better price. They pay a lot more in the back, where conventional is kind of more cutthroat. So it's not that big a difference if it's a FHA deal that, you know, they're buying a 3 family and said, you know, it's not going to fit in the guidelines of, you know, the home style or anything. So like typical bars like that, maybe add, you know, needed a co-parent to put on there, and you're helping them where another lender couldn't get the deal done, but it's very doable. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and that is why initially I want all the loan officer to set the maximum com you want to receive per loan. And then from loan to loan, you can lower the compensation to stay competitive. So you are welcome to select a 275 per loan. And then from loan to loan, right, when you have to compete, you can lower your compensation to make the pricing better to win the deal. So that is I want, but then I see a few more, two issues that you all have to aware. The first issue is loan factory have to sign up with the lender to set the lender pay compensation. So if the company sign up with Rocket, let's say for California is a very competitive state. We cannot set at 275. So we're thinking about setting it at 175, lender pay compensation on the wholesale side. So all your loan, your compensation have to set at either 175 or less. Your compensation cannot be more than the agreement between the company and Rocket, right? But then if you want to make more, you have to send it to correspondent channel.
Well, I think it would be different, wouldn't it? Because correspondent, you're making less. I mean, you're obviously making less. You're getting rates better, you know, better borrowers. But on the wholesale side, it could be higher because you're not banking any FHA loans, are you? Are you non-del or you're full?
We can do FHA on the wholesale channel. We can do FHA or correspondent, same thing. We can do it.
Huh, that's good.
Yeah, we can do FHA loans on both channels.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So just be patient with us on the compensation. We need to figure out a lot of things. Hey, Scott.
no, yeah, I was going to respond and see if I could add to the conversation, but I think, you went through the details. So yeah, nothing more to add.
Okay. Any question for me? I didn't know it lasts almost 2 hours. Okay. I hope everyone enjoyed the training. Try this. I would practice on your own website, pretend to be a client, or ask your friend or family to pretend to be your client. Don't fill it out. Ask your friend to fill it out for fun. And then you go in and try to review it. If you never take application, you should do it. It's a good exercise. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.